Thank you for watching this quick video on the integration between Planalytics, GitHub, and Jira. So in a previous video, I talked through the integration between Planalytics and GitHub, but now if we add Jira to the mix, it's quite a powerful combination. And I think I hope to show you that this can really make things easier from a development and change control perspective for everyone involved. So a couple of prerequisites. What would you need to do this, what we're describing here? So you need a GitHub account, you need a repository set up, and you'll need your SSH keys set up. If you could refer back to a previous video, I'll try to put a note to it or link to it below in the description, but it'll help you set up those different pieces. In Jira, you'll also need a project set up with some specific settings. So you'll need the features, under features, you'll need the code feature set up, and under development tools, you'll need the GitHub integration set up with a link into your GitHub repository. Once you've got those all set, you're set up for doing the lazy workflow. I'm trying to describe it here. So what is the lazy workflow? Well, we want to pick an issue from the Jira backlog. We're going to create a branch. In this case, we're just going to create a branch with the Jira code and some description. We're going to push the changes before we touch anything. We want to err on the side of paranoia. So we're going to push everything to from our production environment to a branch called prod. And we're going to push everything from our development environment to a branch called dev. So that way we've got a snapshot of everything in both environments before we make any changes anywhere. Then we'll go ahead and change our code in development. And after that, we're going to push our changes. So the change that we made, whatever objects we change, we want to push those to that branch we created, just those ones. We also want to push everything in dev to that same dev branch. And I'll explain why in a moment. Once we've done those things, we can review some of the code. We can say, well, what changes did I make? What changes did somebody else make? And if everything looks good, we can pull just our changes to production. And we can do that in an environment where there's other people working, other changes happening in both dev and prod, and we don't need to have everything synced up. So one of the powerful pieces here is that it's not a whole hog push of everything from one environment to another. You can be very specific around just the objects you want to promote and when you want to do that. So let's take a look at what that looks like in Jira. So here we are in Jira, and the first thing we want to know is we're looking at the backlog of a set of issues, and we've got just an empty issue here. You'll notice on the right hand side under development, you should see something that says create branch and create commit. That just means, if you see those things, that just means your connections to your repository looks like they're good and you've got the right feature installed. Now, you could use this create branch tool right here to create a branch for you. You can also do it from the GitHub website. You can also do it as part of the workspace promotion. I'll show the workspace promotion later on, but any one of those things to create the branch is fine. Now, just to kind of let you know where we're going, if we look at an existing one that already has a few things set up, this next story on our backlog, you'll notice this one under development, it says there's a branch and there's 6 commits. So if I click on either one of these, it's going to show me first the branch. So this is a branch that I've already created. If I click on this, it's going to show me the exact files that are part of that branch. So here I can see I've got a KPI cube with some rules and some drill through, and that's it. That's all that's part of that. It's not the entire environment or anything like that. Also from the same, I could click on the commits tab here, or I can close out. And also that next link, where it says 6 commits, I can click on that 6 commits. It's going to show me all of the commits that are related to this particular issue. And the way it grabs that is it looks for the specific issue code in commits or branch names. So just to kind of give you an example here, so I've got a push from prod before any changes. I've got a push of dev before any changes. Then I did some changes. And then these other ones are just, you can think of these as typical development exercises, 2, 3, 4 days, weeks, however long development takes. You can continually be pushing to those branches as you're working on them to make sure you've got a snapshot at each step as you're working through your process. So what does this look like in practice? Let's flip over to Workspace and I'll show you what this looks like. So just as I mentioned, I'll kind of show you some of the steps, but I'll try and speed through it to make sure it's not taking too much time. So in production, before we touch anything, we want to go in the workbench section, find our instance. We can say add objects to repository. As we go in here, we can enter our credentials, and when we select a branch, we select prod. That's going to make sure it pushes everything to prod before we touch anything. Let's flip over. Now let's flip over to dev now and do the same thing. Here on dev, just do the same thing. Add objects to repository. So just to kind of step through the step, it would have been the same on production, but let's just show you. I can go to next. I can just select all of my different objects here. Say I want everything. Click next to go through. Click an existing branch. And here, this is my dev branch. And this is where I start looking at the messages here. So if I put in, and in my case, PA 2828, I can put in a note to say demo. So I've got that note in there, and I can click add. I'm going to see a little icon, a little curly icon on my instance. It's going to say that it's running, and it's going to take a moment to push all those changes to my dev branch. So now with that all done, let's go and make an update to something. So here I have a cube rule file that I've opened. I'm just going to say added another comment. I'm going to save it. There we go, all done. So we made our change, we fixed whatever we want to fix. Maybe we would test it right now, but now how do we, let's see, how do we promote this kind of thing? So at this point, what I want to do is I actually want to promote that one thing to my dev branch, my branch specific to the change, my feature branch, but then I want to promote everything to my dev branch. So let's kind of step through what that looks like. So first I'll do just the one thing. So I can say add objects to repository. So here I'm picking just the one thing I updated. So I'm going to go find my one cube. It's going to grab the dimensions for me as well. That's fine. If I don't want that, I can go in dimensions and unselect those things, or uncheck those things. Going to find my existing branch, or if I didn't already create one, I can use this tool to create a new branch right now. But I'm going to use the existing one. Just going to put in the identifier here. There we go. That's all spinning away. I can see the icon is got a little curly thing in the icon here that's telling me it's running. There we go. Objects updated successfully. Green check mark is a good sign. Now we also want to do a push of everything. So I'm going to say add objects to repository. Enter my credentials and click next. In this case, I'm going to do everything again. Now I'm back here at which branch I want to pick. I'm going to pick my dev branch again. Put in the same note here that I'm related to the same issue. There we go. That updated successfully to our dev branch. That's everything that's got updated there. The icon is back to normal over here. Now let's flip back to Jira and see what that looks like over there. So right now it says 6 commits. I'm going to refresh my screen. Right away, it's gone all the way up to 9. So what are these 9 commits? Let's take a look. So here we have a demo of saving things ahead of any changes. So that would have been our dev push before touching anything. I added a comment, and then I updated the whole dev branch with everything that's there. And there's links to files here. So what file changed? It tells me exactly what file changed. That's the file that I added the comment to. If I click on this, does it show me exactly that one file? It absolutely does. There you go. there's my another comment added. So you got transparency right into exactly what changed in which particular file or which set of files. So it's very transparent that way. And it's also a nice rollback opportunity. So if you need to roll back, you know which objects were changed and which need to be rolled back. Now, another one, if you look at some of these other changes I did prod before any changes from a little while ago, you'll notice there's other changes that have happened across both my environments, both dev and prod. So one of the reasons for using this feature branch is I can promote just my stuff. So I know that maybe there's other changes happening in both dev and prod. It's a very active, both environments are very active, but I only want to promote my specific changes. So I'll show you how you do that now. So here we are. I've done my development on my mag planning instance, but now I want to promote it to my production instance, which is this mag planning git test. So I'm going to update my model from repository, enter my credentials and click authenticate. Now it's going to ask me what model, I want to update the model from repository, but which branch? This is the feature, we want to pick our feature branch. So I'm going to go find my feature branch. And I'm going to click update. And before I click update, I'm sure some folks may be a bit nervous. Hey, what is it really going to update? It updates nothing right now. So when I click that update, all it's going to do is generate a plan. So here is the plan of what it's going to do. It hasn't touched anything yet. So in this case, it's going to go and update my KPI cube because I changed the rule file. Just that KPI cube. What about dimensions? Okay, it knows it has these dimensions. It's going to skip any changes to that. There's no changes. Even though it knows those dimensions are related, it's detected that the dimensions in my target environment are exactly the same as what it has in the repository. So it's not going to touch anything. So when I click execute, the only thing it's going to do is update my one rule file for my KPI cube. And then that updates very quickly. So what we've done there is we've promoted just our one change to production, and we've got full transparency. If we want to go back into Jira, we can see that the state of each environment before any change. We can see exactly what files were changed as part of it. We can even, if we want to, if this was a longer effort and there were many changes over a couple of days or weeks, we could see at any point in time what the state of each files were. And then if we do need to roll back, we've got a number of different things to roll back to. So coming back to, with Planning Analytics, GitHub, Jira, oh my. So the lazy workflow is you pick an issue from your backlog, create a branch, push what you've got before to a prod and dev branch, make your changes, push the changes afterwards. So you want to push it to your feature branch and your dev branch. Then you can review it, see what changes you made, what maybe other folks made at the same time in different environments. And then when you pull to production, you're just pulling your one feature branch. So by following these steps, I think I hope it makes things easier, and we can all have a lazy workflow to not stress too much. Thanks for watching.